I listened to the interview that you did with Mark Maron, and you used
Yeah.
that exact same phrase, hole in the soul, as something that you felt. And I wondered
Mm.
if you had any clarity about where that hole came from.
I mean, the big turning point in my life was being sexually abused, groomed, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was no doubt where things started to, like where I felt like my whole physiology, psychology, sense of self changed dramatically overnight, and I felt sort of completely disconnected to the world. Jesus, I just remember I remember I was just in London. I was working at a pub, and I sort of was so skint that like I could only ever really afford the bus because the tube was too expensive. So I just walk everywhere, and I just walk everywhere. And I lived so far away from Camden where the pub was, and I sort of just I just remember just feeling so disconnected from life, just wandering around these streets where no one ever like even looks at you, and so I think like a large part of my sort of existential crisis sort of happened there. But if I look back at my life, I do think that there was always an insecurity and a kind of listlessness or a sort of like a wondering of some kind. Like I even think of like the time when I went to university. When I left home to go to Glasgow, and I just remember this kind of cloak of self-consciousness kind of coming over me, and I just felt so lost and insecure, and like I didn't know who to be or what to do, and I probably tried to be several different people before I tried to be myself, and I just remember that also being odd. Like when I was out in the world and I had to fend for myself, I didn't really know that I even had a self to fend for. It was a very strange feeling. So I think that hole in the soul has always been there. And I guess like in the end, I always turn to art. I think a lot of the reason people create art is to find some sort of meaning in life where they felt none in a lot of ways. They search for answers in a lot of ways. And I guess that's the journey I'm on as well.